year was 1958. The United States launched its first successful satellite into orbit. The New York Yankees beat the Milwaukee Braves in 7 games to win the World Series. And the 1958 Parma Redmen would make history as the first Parma football team to win the Lake Erie League Championship.
It was a great experience with a lot of guys that came from all different neighborhoods and ethnic origins, and we enjoyed playing, and we just had a good time doing it, and I think that's why we did as well as we did.
Bruno Tomasini played center for that Redmen team and spoke to us about what led him to become a football player and ultimately a member of a championship team.
I don't know, I just enjoyed watching it, and then I was in the Cleveland school system, and I played at Lincoln West. And from there, my family moved out into the Seven Hills, so we went to the Parma school system, and I got involved with guys, and we just, all people were coming out in the areas, in the suburbs at that time. And so it just, like I said, it was a different mesh of different people from all over, and it worked out well.
From a diverse group of guys that found themselves in a new environment, arose a team of young men that would leave their mark on Parma football. They practiced and played the game the only way they knew how.
We just did our thing. I mean, we just said we're going to beat them, and that's it. And we made up our mind to do it, and we had fun doing it. I mean, we really enjoyed it. I mean, practices were fun and games were fun. We really had it was always a fun time.
1958 ushered in the glory years of Parma High football as the Redmen won 4 consecutive Lake Erie League championships. But to Bruno and the rest of the guys, it was just business as usual. You know,
looking back on it, and you look at some of the pictures of the people in the stands and all that, we didn't even realize it was that big a thing until, then later on the consuls gave us a proclamation, and then we were on, and then they honored us and everything else, and it was, they made more of it than we did, I think, and like I said, we enjoyed it, but they made more of it than we did. I think they did anyway.
Throughout the season, the players had an entire stadium and school of support behind them.
Every game, the stands were full at home. I mean, they had buyers, and of course, at that time, wasn't the size of the stadium it is now. It was a lot smaller, but it was full. I mean, I remember we played Rhodes. I think they said they were 6 deep on the track all the way around. Plus, the stands were full. Everybody wanted to come out and see us.
Recently, in light of their upcoming 50th high school reunion, the 58 team was honored in a pregame ceremony at Byers Field. Many of the players, coaches, and cheerleaders were in attendance. Nancy Fedak, a member of the Parma High School Alumni Association and 1966 graduate of Parma High, took part in planning the event.
They were the first football LEL champs. And we thought about it, and Bruno did the majority of the legwork. We just put our name to it and helped out with the correspondence and the actual celebration. The guys said that this was probably one of the nicest things that they remember or will remember, because as a high school and as an alumni association, we took the time to honor them.
The guys were really taken back by it. Everybody loved it. They really enjoyed it. I mean, it was a lot of memories, a lot of talk going on. And I understand from my wife and my kids and grandkids that the people in the stands were they really enjoyed it. Seeing it flashed on that new scoreboard, which was phenomenal. I mean, they put that up. I mean, they pictured the team and different things, and I mean, it was something. And seeing old Coach Brugge walking out there with that trophy and that one old game ball in his hand, I mean, he looked like he was cradling 2 little babies there. I mean, and just watching that was enough. I mean, that in itself was well worth it all, I think.
It took a special group of guys to form this team, but that wasn't all. There was something else at work that made the Parma team so unique.
Yeah, I think first of all, it was that era, the 50s. I mean, now you hear people talking about that era, and they go back to it, the music, just everything in general. I mean, what happened during that era, and I think that had a lot to do with it too. I mean, there was no conflicts going on. Everybody was, was working. I mean, a lot of us came from ethnic homes. I mean, our parents were, ethnic origin. It was just, like I say, there was that era. I think it was that 50s era.
Of all the memories, it won't be the cheering fans or big hits or even the support of the town that will be cherished the most. There is a deeper, more lasting memory for the members of the 58 team.
The camaraderie amongst the guys there was something that I don't think that I'll ever forget. I know I'll never forget, and it was something that you just can't, it's hard to explain it, but it's just a feeling like a brotherhood. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And to this day, it's still the same with the guys around. They still come in like that football, that stadium that day. I mean, guys came in from Maine, Massachusetts, Georgia, Florida. I mean, one guy flew in that day, and flew back out the next day to go to Boston, Mass. I mean, that's how these guys are. I mean, and I would do the same if they had something somewhere else. We're still a very close group, not just the players, the club and the players. I mean, we're still very close, and we look back on each other and we watch out for each other. So, I mean, and that's something I don't think that I'll ever forget, and they don't either. I know that.
Teams like the 1958 Parma Redmen are a rare breed, not because they're the perfect season or championship trophies. Instead, it's the fact that they remain a team to this day. Their devotion to each other embodies the words of the Parma High School alma mater. Our pride in you is great. Your name must never fall. Parma High, our promise is loyalty eternally.